Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing an important live stream right now. This is the R Deal podcast. Rajita Benz coming at you. And as you see the title, RFK Jr., I'm so disappointed. Let's listen to what he had to say.
To President Biden. Then, when a predictably bungled debate performance precipitated the palace coup against President Biden, the same shadowy DNC operatives appointed his successor, also without an election. They installed a candidate who was so unpopular with voters that she dropped out in 2020 without winning a single delegate. My uncle and my father both relished debate. They prided themselves on their capacity to go toe to toe with any opponent in the battle over ideas. They would be astonished to learn of a Democratic Party presidential nominee who, like Vice President Harris, has not appeared in a single interview or an unscripted encounter with voters for 35 days. This is profoundly undemocratic. How are people to choose when they don't know whom they are choosing? And how can this look to the rest of the world? My father and my uncle were always conscious of America's image abroad because of our nation's role as the template for democracy, the role model for democratic processes, and the leader of the free world. Instead of showing us her substance and character, the DNC and its media organs engineered a surge of popularity for Vice President Harris based upon, well, nothing. No policies, no interviews, no debates, only smoke and mirrors. And
I need to pause that for a minute because everything I'm hearing from him right now it sounds like he's saying everything Trump would say now. And I'm just so disappointed right now. I'm an independent voter. And RFK Jr. right here, you know what I'm saying? When he was running, yeah, it was a long shot. Everybody knows it was a long shot, but it was our shot. He resonated with me, and I would have voted for him all day long. But because of now, he's dropping out. This is what he's talking about. He's dropping out. The rumors going around is he's going to vote for Trump or endorse Trump to have a cabinet position. Let's see.
balloons in a highly produced Chicago circus. There in Chicago, a string of Democratic speakers mentioned Donald Trump 147 times just on the first day. Oh, who needs a policy when you have Trump to hate? In contrast, at the RNC convention, President Biden was mentioned only twice in 4 days. I do interviews every day. Many of you have interviewed me. Anybody who asks gets to interview me. Some days I do as many as 10. President Trump, who actually was nominated and won an election, also does interviews daily. How did the Democratic Party choose a candidate that has never done an interview or debate during the entire election cycle? We know the answers. They did it by weaponizing.
Sorry, I'm gonna pause it again because this is live. But everything he's saying right now, Trump said the same thing. So what is that telling me? What is that telling you? Looks like he's going to endorse Trump. Let's see.
The government agencies. They did it by abandoning democracy. They did it by suing the opposition and by disenfranchising American voters. What most alarms me isn't how the Democratic Party conducts its internal affairs or runs its candidates. What alarms me is the resort to censorship and media control and the weaponization of the federal agencies. When a US president colludes with or outright coerces media companies to censor political speech, it's an attack on our most sacred right of free expression. And that's the very right upon which all of our other constitutional rights rest. President Biden mocked Vladimir Putin's 88% landslide in the Russian elections, observing that Putin and his party controlled the Russian press and that Putin prevented serious opponents from appearing on the ballot. But here in America, the DNC also prevented opponents from appearing on the ballot. And our television networks expose themselves as Democratic Party organs over the course of.
As I pause again, I'm listening to what he's saying. I understand. I understand why he's saying all this because let's be real about it. The media do, the media create narrative what it wants to create. It can do it. Media can control everything, right? So I understand what he's saying, but I don't believe this is the right way of doing it. So your opponent, now you're going to try to endorse Trump to get a cabinet position just like you try to, you don't let's not get it twisted. You also try to contact Harris administration to get a cabinet position. So it's because you didn't get the response right away. Now you say, forget it. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go Republican. You were born and raised a Democrat. Your family dynasty is a Democratic dynasty. I understand you were different. Again, that's what's drawing me to you, man. But now it's just, is it about money? Is it about just trying to get a position? Because it sounds to me, eh, I don't know anymore. I don't know. I'm very disappointed.
More than a year in a campaign where my poll numbers reached at times in the high 20s. The DNC aligned mainstream media networks maintain a near perfect embargo on interviews with me. During his 10-month presidential campaign in 1992, Ross Perot gave 34 interviews on mainstream networks. In contrast, during the 16 months since I declared, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, and CNN combined gave only 2 live interviews from me. Those networks instead ran a continuous deluge of hit pieces with inaccurate, often vile, pejoratives and defamatory smears. Some of those same networks and colluded with the DNC to keep me off the debate stage. Representatives of those networks are in this room right now, and I'll just take a moment.
And I'm going to pause right there for a second. And I that is true. CNN would never play him. MSNBC wouldn't even touch him. Fox News touched a little bit at least, but his main source to get his word out was News Nation. That's why I mess with News Nation. They straight down the middle right now. Now until they go your left or right, I'm gonna still rock with them until they start being a propaganda network like every other one. But he is correct on that. But it doesn't mean go against your morals, man. It doesn't mean to do that.
To ask you to consider the many ways that your institutions have abdicated this really sacred responsibility, the duty of a free press to safeguard democracy and to challenge always the party in power. Instead of maintaining that posture of fear, skepticism toward authority, your institutions have made themselves government mouthpieces and stenographers for the organs of power. You didn't alone cause the devolution of American democracy, but you could have prevented it. The Democratic Party's censorship of social media was even more of a naked exercise of executive power. This week, a federal judge, Terry Doty, upheld my injunction against President Biden, calling the White House's censorship project, quote, the most egregious violation of the First Amendment in the history of the United States of America. Doty's previous 155-page decision details how just 37 hours after he took the oath of office, swearing to uphold the Constitution, President Biden and his White House opened up a portal and then invited the CIA, the FBI, CISA, which is a censorship agency, it's the center of the censorship industrial complex, DHS, the IRS, and other agencies to censor me.
Okay. I have to just. I don't want to hear all the conspiracy stuff. I don't want to hear all this. The bottom line is I understand. I understand why you are, you know, bowing out. The two-party system wins again. It does. And I hate that because you were the last hope for the independent voters. I understand there was a lot against you. It was a lot against you. I get it. But to bow out and just go and just follow somebody who is basically a snake. And I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying, go one another, but let's be real. He's nice to you now because you nice to Trump. If you was even in the middle and battle him, he'll try to rip you to shreds. So why are you going to go against your morals? You stated you can beat him. I'm not worrying about how Madam Harris got to the nomination. It's done. It's not about that anymore. The fight starts now, and you bowed out. I know it takes money to run a campaign. What I read in headlines, it was getting down to the wire of being broke. I understand. I also understand you had to give 1 million back to your running mate. That's very huge of you of doing that. That's what I'm saying. You have good morals, but now you're about to test your morality with this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Let's continue.
especially flourished among young voters and independent voters, thanks to the alternative media. Many months ago, I promised the American people that I would withdraw from the race if I became a spoiler. A spoiler is someone who will alter the outcome of the election but has no chance of winning. In my heart, I no longer believe that I have a realistic path to electoral victory in the face of this relentless systematic censorship and media control. So I cannot, in good conscience, ask my staff and volunteers to keep working their long hours or ask my donors to keep giving when I cannot honestly tell them that I have a real path to the White House. Furthermore, our polling consistently showed that by staying on the ballot in the battleground states, I would likely hand the election over to the Democrats with whom I disagree on the most existential issues: censorship, war, and chronic disease. Oh, I want everyone to know that I am not terminating my campaign. I am simply suspending it and not not ending it.
Stop the cat. Stop the cat. Because if you are suspending, you're not going to get back on the campaign. Stop the cat, please.
For me, without harming or helping President Trump or Vice President Harris. In red states, the same will apply. I encourage you to vote for me. And if enough of you do vote for me, and neither of the major party candidates win 270 votes, which is quite possible. In fact, today our polling shows them tying at 269 to 269. And I could conceivably still end up in the White House in a contingent election. But in about 10 battleground states where my presence would be a spoiler, I'm going to remove my name. And I've already started that process and urge voters not to vote for me. It's with a sense of victory.
And by doing that, you have no chance of winning. You have no chance. So I understand you bowing out, but don't give people broken promises. Don't you gaslighting right now. You can't get on a ballot in New York because you used a fake address. You're not on so many ballots. So to suspend your campaign, let's be real, you ending your campaign.
Last year and a half, thank you for a job well done. Three great causes drove me to enter this race in the first place, primarily. And these are the principal causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party and, and run as an independent. And now to throw my support to President Trump. The causes were free speech, a war in Ukraine and the war on our children. I've already described some of my personal experiences and struggles with the government's censorship industrial complex. I want to say a word about the Ukraine war. The military industrial
That's all I need to hear. The bottom line is you are supporting Trump. That's the bottom line. You're ending your campaign and you're supporting Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, the two-party system wins again. The two-party system will always prevail because nobody has the guts to go through with it 100%. To me, he was the last hope. He had his own mind. He's a good guy. And he talked about the issues that everyday Americans was having and had resolutions for it. You think Trump got real resolutions? Not even close. Come on, you know what he's about. It's called you good with him, he's good with you. If you disagree with any one thing, he's gonna attack you. What kind of crap is that? It's called a dictator mentality. And you're gonna endorse this. Why? I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Yeah, I took him off the screen because he said all he needed to say. I will not be endorsing Trump, especially with J.D. Vance as the vice president running mate. Are you serious? You want to sit there? You want to tell the people you want the death penalty for drug dealers? Make up your mind. First, you endorse life and then endorse death at the same time? Is there no such thing as rehabilitation? Please, man. And then y'all want to do personal attacks? Personal attacks. Stop it. I'm done. I'm done with that. So guess what? I'm inching towards the Democratic nominee on the Democrat. Even though I told myself I didn't want to. But because this now has to stop. That's why I can't wait for the debate. Madam Harris, to be honest, I hope you do well. I really do. Because I don't know if I want to go through another 4 years of having to worry about if the color of my skin is going to be the reason for negativity. I don't know if I can do that for another 4 years. So, Ms. Harris, I hope you do very well. And go ahead and put your policies out there. Bring change, right? The thing is to bring change. But this video is not about that. It's about RFK Jr. I'm so disappointed. I am. And it sucks. It sucks. And I blame the media. I blame the transitional media because y'all were so damn scared to put them on. Why? Y'all were so scared to do it and y'all didn't do it because y'all didn't want to do it. Maybe before I die on this earth, there'll be an independent candidate who will strive and defeat the two-party system once and for all. So everybody can have a chance to vote and vote who you want to vote for versus vote for the least of two evils. Well, right now, since Democratic Party did kick out Joe Biden, there's no more least of two evils. Now you have a candidate. Who cares what happened in 2016? This is 2024. And who cares what happened in 2020? It's 2024. We are in the fight for our democracy from both sides. Not just a Democratic democracy, and damn sure not just a Republican democracy. From both sides now. This was just a quickie. I'll come on later for another topic. I think my politic days of being on here talking about politics, it might be over. So it's time to turn a new leaf, turn a new page, and you're gonna see something amazing on my channel. I promise you that. And whoever watches me, let me know what y'all want to discuss. Got y'all. At the end of the day, one love. Be good to each other. Peace.